Okay, let's go out and see. Well, first of all, there's something happening in the sky. Yes, it's called blue sky. You don't see that very often this summer. This weekend has been very pleasant. In fact, the last few days have been pleasant. Been quite warm. It has been windy though, but warm. And today's supposed to be very warm, and I think at least till Wednesday we've got warmth. So this might be our summer for the whole year. But yeah, let's have a look what we can see today. Everything out here hasn't changed really. I don't think I've changed anything. I've brought a new clematis. I had this clematis years ago. It used to grow up my fence, but it got sort of swallowed up by all the other things that grew. It has a yellow, a sort of a drop clematis, like a little yellow flower, and the honeysuckle flowers well, but it always gets powdery mildew, and the leaves, as you can see, drop off. It's flowered and flowered this year really well, but it never looks very pretty of late, so I thought it'd be nice to grow this clematis through it, so that once the flowering has finished, the green of the clematis will cover it. So I don't want to take it out. The bees, yes, I've just used that word, bees. The bees have been visiting it, so let's see if we can see any bees today. I've got some lovely lobelia in pots here, and it amazes me that bees actually do use lobelia. You wouldn't think they would, but they do. They love to, especially the white one, they seem to dangle off that. Even the big bumblebees will use it. Let's have a stroll. There's still Welsh poppies flowering as well, which is lovely. They don't usually flower at this time of year, do they? But they've been flowering for quite a while now. And this lovely scabious here. We cut back the snapdragons, and they're reflowering. Got a lovely wild carrot cut up here. Isn't that beautiful? It's like lace, isn't it? It's a wild carrot. This has been really popular. It's a Veronica. Not sure of the full name, but it's been visited mainly by two white-tailed bumblebees, and they, as you can see, they've pollinated it really well. There's nothing left of the flowers now. As they pollinate them, oh, there's a little insect there. Is it an ant? A little ant in there enjoying the nectar. Can you see it? So there, little tiny ant. Yes, they pollinate them, and then the flower is spent. They just drop to the floor, so they always seem to start at the bottom of the flower and work their way up to the top. Very considerate bees, and yeah, so they're almost in seed now. Might try and take some seeds from it this year. The Mexican fleabane is still flowering away lovely. Sweet Williams have all spent now. Cut those back. Whether they'll do a second flower, I'm not sure. I've got to cut back these oxeye daisy, and I'll show you why. Because the birds don't really eat the seeds of well, you can see what happens. You have to go near them, and the seeds drop out. Yeah, they're terrible for seeding, and because I'm in the path here, they will seed into the path. I've already got plants coming up here. They seed lovely in this path. They seem to love the path because it gets hot with the sun, I presume, so it's perfect for them. There's a teasel self-seeded there, look. And I think that's from the Christmas decoration that I put up on the door that had teaseling. The hydrangea's doing okay considering it's in a pot. Not as well as my other hydrangeas that are in the ground. I'll show you those shortly. The flowers haven't opened on this hydrangea yet. The flower is the tiny little bead-like shape in the middle. Once that opens, bees will visit it. Not very often, but they will visit it. This is the Joe Pye plant. And look what's on it. Honeybee. I'm not sure what that one is. It could be a bobtail, yeah. And a hoverfly here. So yesterday insects seem to, well, insects, I say insects, bees started popping up in the garden. Birds are coming for feeding. There's something on the nettled bellflower, just spotted. I think it's just gone in one of the flowers. There was something on that just. And, oh yeah, here's another bee. There's two. It's a honeybee. I mean, it's ridiculous to be so excited about bees, and it's nearly the end of July. The cosmos that I started from seed are doing so well. They're so healthy looking. Sweet peas are going mainly to the top now. I've cut that many vases of sweet peas. It's been incredible. But they are just going to seed, so I need to be careful of that because it's hard to stop them seeding once they start. My tomatoes are growing rapidly. I spotted my first tomatoes yesterday. Let's see if we can see them. There, look. Little tomatoes. I have been brushing these with my finger just in case the bees haven't been pollinating them, to pollinate them myself. No tomatoes on that one yet, but they're just beginning to form at the back, I can see. And I keep hearing buzzing, which I haven't heard in the garden for ages. And the other wonderful thing that I've spotted, considering we've only seen one, well, we've seen a white butterfly in the garden 3 times. Can you see these little, I know people who grow cabbage probably think I'm stupid, but there, look, is the evidence of, they're so tiny you're not going to see them, I don't think. They're so tiny I don't know whether you'll see them. There they're gone. Just want to be careful, I don't want to knock them off. There they are, cabbage white butterflies. The reason I grow this cabbage. And I think I've got eggs on this one as well if they haven't already hatched. There's the eggs. I saw a white yesterday in the garden, and there's the eggs of another one. So I'm going to be protecting these little whites with all my heart. They can munch on those cabbages for as long as they like. Just got to hope the sparrows don't spot them. Just deadhead this cosmos flower. Right, let's carry on up the garden. I've actually spotted bees in the fuchsia. I did say in my last video I normally come out the shed and have to be aware that there's bees in it. There's a honeybee in it at the moment, but actually I've been hearing buzzing in it. My aging buddleia is flowering. I'll just show you the flower. Buddleia. There's a bee on there, I think. Oh, I'm trying to get it. I hope I've caught that. I've had to put the camera up so high. Hopefully I've caught that. Not sure. I hadn't got the mic plugged in earlier, so I hope you heard the beginning of the video. More bees here on this aged clover. I keep deadheading. It's gone so straggly. I was going to cut it right down, but I keep spotting bees on it, so I don't cut it right back. Yesterday they were all on the Astrantia, honeybees particularly. Oh my goodness, it's just, it's like the beginning of summer regarding insects. There's a tiny little, I'm not sure if you'll see it, tiny little bee flying around there. There's 2 bees, a large one, well not that large, solitary bee, and a teeny tiny one. I think that's a yellow-faced bee. If it's not, it could be a wasp. Can you see it on that leaf? Remove my shadow. So it's good to see. Here's the lavender. I'm going to be quiet for a second. I'm not sure if the mic's picking it up. Oh, look at that. Lovely shot of the solitary bee there. Bit of shade now. That's the early sun coming up through that little gap. My rose has put on lots of new growth for its second flush of flowers. And you might notice if you watch regularly, it seems a bit brighter over here because I've actually been doing some cutting back. Now I don't do much in this garden, but my I've got obviously we've got the bees over there, and I've got the blueberry which wasn't getting any light. So I've cut the shrub back, and it had finished flowering. I haven't done it very well. It looks a bit choppy. I need to come in and cut those bits back so that you can't really see the top, but it'll flush out. There's already new growth coming up here, look. It grows like anything, it spreads. I'm forever pulling suckers out from it. Down here, my fuchsia that I had to move is doing really well, and I think it looks lovely with these lovely purple flowers. Not sure of the name of those. Planted them last year, didn't expect them to come back, and here they are. So I think they look lovely as a little group there, the dark purple and the light purple. And here are my rhododendron hydrangeas here. I've never seen them like this before. Hydrangeas love lots of water, and that's what this summer has given them, especially in a clay soil. On here you can see the little flowers are opening. There you go, there's one there. So the bees do go to those little flowers. There's another one. So the bees will visit those tiny flowers. It's still a bit cool here because of this shade, but this Joe Pye plant yesterday had lots of bees on, and so did the one on the fence there. So I'm hoping today will be the same. I can hear blackbirds cheeping in the background, warning sound of the blackbirds. I love these little drumstick alliums. They're such a lovely, lovely plant, just beginning to open. The lovely, lovely fennel, so tall, matches well with the Joe Pye. The Joe Pye's same height. I mean, my garden is a mismatch really, because when you plant for wildlife, I don't think about what they're going to look like together, I suppose. I just think, oh, that's really good for wildlife. I love the fact that bees will use them and birds will eat the seed heads. Oh, I'm just going to go up. I don't know if you can see it there. I'm focusing. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's the moon up there, look. Zoom in a bit. Isn't that lovely? So yeah, it's a bit of a minch-modge. I don't think about the look too much, I suppose, in the end. The crocosmia is looking amazing, look at that. And the gulls last night, you can hear those gulls. We had hundreds circling round. I think we had a sudden flying ants coming out, and they were circling all over the house. There must have been 50 or more of them. The sky was full of them. Just going to move up the garden. Oh, I've just spotted a bee trying to visit the goldenrod there. Bumblebee, they're not quite open. Some of them are nearly open, but once this is open, the bees do love the goldenrod. I do like the red and the yellow together there, a splash of purple, and a bit more Joe Pye. That Joe Pye's in a pot, so it doesn't go quite as tall as the rest. It will once the roots get out the pot though, so I'll have to be careful of that. And carrying on, we've got the marjoram coming up and the oregano. I've had a bit of a clearance over the back here. This pink geranium here, I don't know the name of it. It just flowers everywhere, and it filled the whole centre of that bit there, the border, and was flopping over everything and wasn't flowering. It had finished flowering, so I've cut it back right down to the ground as hard as I could. It will flush back. Hopefully I'll get something in there in the meantime. Another plant I've just topped is this plant here. I think it's a consummita, kind of shrub like that. It's an evergreen. It does have lots of berries on, and this year is particularly heavy with berries. So I thought if I just take the top off, which I've done. And my rowan, I've never seen so many berries on the rowan. So this flowers very early. The early bees are obviously out and pollinated really well I know people are saying elderberry's not been pollinated very well this year and there are fewer berries, but it hasn't affected my rowan tree, thankfully. Look at it. And the blackbirds will soon be eating all of those. Again, they with that they start at the top and work their way down. Another couple of hydrangeas there. And now we're coming into the lawn area. There is a lot of grass because, as you can see, it's shady now, this little bit, and as the sun moves round, the bit that's in sunshine now becomes shaded, and then all of this becomes shaded again. So nothing really grows in it. I'm amazed that the meadow sweet has seeded into it, and there's some hedge bed straw there, and I've spotted a couple of ragworts coming up in it, so I'll have ragwort there next year. So what I've done is I've started the hay cut, the first cut of the grass. I haven't cut it much, just a little bit along there, and then I've left the rest long, and I'll do that again in another couple of weeks' time. It's not supporting anything. I've checked it thoroughly. I found 2 slugs in there and that was it. This is all going over now, and the biggest change here is this. A very hard cut back of an evergreen here. It was very dominant. When I first moved in, my uncle gave me this evergreen and it was only small, and it didn't really, I've only ever once seen it used by insects. So the pyracantha that's next to it, which provides lots of food in the form of flowers and berries and protection, because the birds can fly in there with the thorns and feel safe, was leaning all over to the right. I've had to, as you can see all the straps, I've had to strap it and pull it using that trunk of that evergreen and pull it to the left. The evergreen will flush, and I think the height it's going to stay is the height of the tallest branch in there, so I'm not going to let it get any higher than that. As I say, when I moved in, the fence was only that high. It was a chain link fence, and it was only waist height, and I used to keep it at that height, and I think I just sort of left it, not thinking about it, and it was dominant. It was also affecting this flower bed because I get so little light. All the plants were leaning. I've had to stake these. I had to stake the ragwort. There's a bean pole in there. I never normally stake them because it was completely leaning over. I've had to support that lovely geranium that was all flopping and awful, and I've had to cut branches off the buddleia. It's white buddleia because they were out. Well, they were just, you can see the branches I've chopped off. They were like right across the path, which was affecting that ragwort, and there's a ragwort that's seeded and coming up in it, and that was being crowded out. So the shrub now is going up instead of leaning out to search for light. It's the problem when you have a lot of shade in your garden. The plants struggle a little bit trying to find light, as the Astrantia has in the past, but it's not too bad, the Astrantia, because it will tolerate shade, and so will the nettle bellflower. Again, shade lover, that's self-seed, so you know it tolerates shade because it seeds where it wants to grow. My rose needs a bit of attention there. Just letting it grow out so I can sort it out. So yeah, this grass is going to stay long for another couple of weeks. I'll check it thoroughly before I get it in. As you can see, the grass does die back completely. It does look like straw. We haven't had much rain recently, but I believe there's more rain to come in August, so it will green up. Lovely ragwort again. No sign of any cinnabars this year. I don't think I'm going to get any this year. I've given up on that now. It is odd though that this one was stripped at the back. Oh, my shadow, sorry, because I'm back in the sun. Let's go from this side. This one was stripped, and I don't know of anything else that eats them, but I never saw a caterpillar on it at all. So I'm not sure, that's a bit of a mystery there. The loosestrife has been absolutely lovely this year. Again, that's another plant that can suffer from flopping over. It dries out quite quickly and gets rust. But I think the wet this year has been its saviour. I mean, we've complained about the rain this summer, but the plants have actually thrived on it. This is lovely, this gorgeous pink. I was trying to remember the name of this. It's a mallow, but it has got a name, Barnsley or something like that. It's a beautiful mallow. I'm trying to remember it, but I can't remember it. But it is a lovely mallow, and the bees do like it. I've seen a couple of honeybees visiting it. Now the bees are beginning to appear. Oops, sorry, knocking the camera. A lot of honeybees today. I mean, I wasn't even seeing honeybees, but there are quite a few honeybees popping up today again. There's a bit of a nastilbe just in the middle. Oh, my shadow, dear. This is the trouble when you've got the early sun. Nastilbe popping up there. But you can see how the yellow loosestrife is all flopping over now. It was upright most of the summer, but it's going over now and it's flopping. I've planted a jasmine in the back there. It's just beginning to climb up that. There was I forget what plant was there, it died, and the jasmine's beginning to climb up it, so that'll be nice if it keeps going. Lovely little last flush of roses on this little shrub. Some daisies are out. I think these are being visited by, oh no, they're just I thought there were some beetles on there, but it's not. There are some little insects crawling over them, but I'm not sure. They're tiny, tiny little flies crawling over them. I'm not sure what they are. Lots of them. They're all important, these little insects. They're food for little birds, and the robin's got a nest as we go up. I'll show you. It's on its 5th nest, and I keep seeing the mother bird coming in with a beak full of tiny, excuse me, a beak full of tiny little insects. Go around the tree. This is Echinops. It's doing really well. That'll be in flower in a couple of weeks. It's a purple flower. Bees adore it. This is patch here that's usually red campion. Oh, and 2 butterflies. Oh my goodness, and they're trying to mate, or they fight. That was 2 speckled woods. I've seen one in the garden, but that's, I'm going to have to do a butterfly count after I've finished this. It's resting now on the head of the little statue of the heron there. That was lovely. Yeah, so I've taken out the oxeye daisy, most of it here. It lets the sun in. It's already beginning to grow at the bottom. So, oh, my shadow again. So yeah, hopefully, well, not hopefully, it just will. It just shoots up like crazy. I've done a cut on that rose yesterday. The top was just way so that it just sends out these amazing tall shoots. So I had to get up the step ladder and just chop the tops off of those. The pond, let's get into the shade so my shadow's not in the way. The pond's doing really well. There's lots of little frogs in there. Let's see if it'll happen. I'm going to say every time I go by and move something pops out. Let's have a, sometimes if I move these, little froglets pop into the water. No, not today, but yeah, I've been seeing lots of froglets in the pond. It's doing really well, and I've not had to top it up once this summer, which is great. There's the speckled wood on the rose. Let's see how close we can get. I can't see it because the sun's shining on the lens, but hopefully you can see it. Isn't that beautiful? Perfect, newly emerged speckled wood. So, garden is going over. It's got that sort of late summer feel. It gets a bit tired looking. There's a couple of more alliums. I'm going to plant more of these up here this year. Where I'll get them from, because Wilko's having closed down, is get all the bulbs from Wilko's. So yeah, a lot of the plants are from Wilko's. Lovely nettle bellflower there. Beautiful condition. It's only just opened. This is where the bee's nest is, I've told you, but I'm not sure whether it's still active or not. I'm not seeing anything going in, so whether they've died or not, I'm not sure. Here we've got my bucket of rotting grass. This is for the Buzz Club. I ask you to do a little pot so that hoverflies can lay their eggs in there. Sometimes I see them on the sticks, but none on the sticks at the moment, eggs. But I need to do a count because I noticed some of them with maggots in there yesterday, or the larvae. So I need to do a count for that. I'll look down the garden, it looks lovely in the sun. I have to show you a clip of the garden at night because obviously the sun's on the opposite side. So all the right-hand side is all lit up at night and with sun, and in the morning it's all the left side. It's beautiful to see that butterfly flitting about. And up into the very shady area now. We're going up into the wilderness. I haven't done anything up here, so I don't touch it. Oh. Still blackberries flowering in the nettle bed. We're going to have tons of blackberries. Can't believe how many blackberries there are. Very wet on my ankles. I did cut, I say I don't do anything. The one thing I do control is the Mahonia. I chop that off every other year. You can see all the new growth. The reason I do that is it grows massive. It's a very tall shrub, and then all the flowers tend to be on the top, and you can't count the bees or see the bees. So if I chop it down every couple of years, it keeps the flowers in view, so I can see what's going on with them. This Buddleia's just finished. It's beautiful purple Buddleia. There's another one in the back there, and this is proper wild. Look at the rhubarb. It's turning into a gunnerer, I think. But the stockpile of the dry hedge has gone up no end because obviously I've cut all those shrubs back, and it's added to the dead hedge. So that's that evergreen that I cut back, and I've cut back a couple of branches off the Buddleia that were finished, spent, and just in my face. So another bee there, and up the little hill, up the path. My lovely sparrow box that I've had years eventually died. The lid dropped off, it's rotted, so I've put it on the pile, and hopefully a little mouse can make its home in there eventually, or even a tree bee. So yeah, you can see the stockpile has got quite high. You can hear swifts. I hope the mic's picking up the swifts. Here's swifts circling. They'll be going soon, or leaving to go back to Africa. Yeah, so yeah, it's lovely to be out and hearing the buzz of insects once more. Not enough, but hopefully if we can have some reasonably warm weather for the next, well, till early September, then the numbers will pick up quite quickly. My concern is last year they were low, and obviously it affects the queens. If queens die, then you're not going to get nests, so with a bit of luck, if it can stay mild, and we can really hope for a better spring next year. Spring makes such a difference, well, and obviously summer, so fingers crossed for next year. Oh, and the lovely Crocosmia's just coming out as well. The lovely plant. First spotted that when I was in Cornwall and brought some back. It's completely taken over the garden now. Well, not quite taken over, but it's in a lot of places. Yeah. Oh, I just keep hearing buzzing. It's just so uplifting. Lovely knapweed in flower now. I'm surprised there's not a bee on that because they do love knapweed. Hopefully will fill out lovely there. Got another knapweed down the bottom that's in shade. It is a sun-loving plant. More echinops here. It's funny because it's a tall plant, echinops. I'd say that's about nearly 6 foot tall. But I've grown echinops in the spot for quite a long time, the first echinops I had in the garden. But look at the height of it now and the size of the flowers. It's about 4 foot because it's in shade, so it takes longer for it to come into flower. And yeah, it's not as tall. So if you want echinops in the shade, you can grow it and it doesn't get so leggy. Doesn't that stand out, the yellow of the the yellow of the ragwort, the controversial plant. It is controversial if you live in the countryside. I don't think there's a bylaw on it on not growing it, but it's poisonous to horses, and obviously horses don't eat it as it's grown in a field. They just eat around it, and they'd have to consume quite a lot to make it very ill. What happens is, if farmers get in the hay and there's lots of ragwort in it, and then it's in the fodder, and then horses eat the fodder, yeah, then it's a problem. But in an urban place, I don't know where the nearest animals are to us. There aren't any other than wild animals. So ragwort's fine in our garden, and it's supposed to be popular with lots and lots of moths as well as day-flying insects. So yeah, if you can get ragwort in your garden, I would have it. It's a beautiful colour, magnificent little plant, and it self-seeds lovely for a wildlife garden. I don't think there's anything else, and it's quite a long video again. So yeah, as we walk down, beautiful hazy blue of the lavender, isn't that beautiful? More sweet peas there. Must get clipping and take some in the house in a minute. It's hard though because the solitary bees use it, and I'm cutting the flowers off, and then but I've got to keep it going. So these are sunflowers. I grew that one from seed. I don't remember where I got the seed from, but my granddaughter grew some at her playgroup, so we've got a couple that my granddaughter grew too. And look how I'm having to protect them. So they're in pots with gravel, they're in a tray with gravel, which I try and keep topped up with water, and they're on a metal table. That's to stop the slugs devouring them. So I might not see the flower. That'd be so high. Look at the hostas doing so well. Just a little bit of damage, but very little. Again, on a bed of gravel. Gravel makes all the difference. Yep. And that's it. That's the garden this year. Just turn round. Oops. And finish with one last look up the garden. Hope you're all well. And yeah. Happy news at last with the insects. Enjoy the warm weather. I think it's most of the country this week, so everybody enjoy yourselves. And I hope where it's very hot that you can get some rain. Canada's awful at the moment. The fires in Canada being reported. Absolute nightmare. So we're very fortunate. Mustn't grumble at all. Take care everyone. Bye.